No Thomas Partey. Big problem for Arsenal. PSG's midfield trio is dominating the Champions League as Arsenal prepare for their high-stakes Champions League semi-final clash with Paris Saint-Germain. One absence looms larger than any other. Thomas Partey. His needless yellow card against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu has left the Gunners without one of their most experienced midfielders at the worst possible time. And it couldn't come against a more formidable midfield, because while PSG's wing play and individual flair have garnered headlines, it's the evolution of their central midfield, led by Vitinha, João Neves, and Fabián Ruiz, that has turned the Parisian giants from perennial underachievers into serious contenders for Europe's biggest prize. Partey's suspension leaves Arsenal exposed. There were just 5 minutes left in Arsenal's historic quarter-final. Away leg at the Bernabeu when Thomas Partey recklessly shoved Dani Ceballos in full view of referee François Letexier. A yellow card was inevitable, and with it came a suspension that has now left Mikel Arteta with a massive tactical headache. Partey had been instrumental in Arsenal's dismantling of Madrid, not only shielding the backline but also dictating tempo alongside Declan Rice. His absence means Arsenal will have to reshuffle against one of the most dynamic and fluid midfields in European football, and one that has already torn through the likes of Manchester City and Real Sociedad. From chaos to cohesion, PSG's midfield revolution. At the beginning of the season, PSG looked like anything but title favorites. Their early season trip to the Emirates ended in a humiliating 3-0 defeat, with goals from Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka putting the result beyond doubt by halftime. Luis Enrique's side were overrun, outclassed, and physically dominated. "We lost almost every single duel," the Spanish coach lamented post-match. Fast forward to April, and the story is starkly different. PSG have not only redeemed themselves, but now find themselves on a thrilling Champions League run, defined by tactical balance and collective spirit, a far cry from their previous star-centric approach. Central to this transformation has been the development of their midfield trio, Vitinha, João Neves, and Fabián Ruiz. Vitinha, the engine and architect Vitinha, has emerged as one of the breakout stars of the tournament. The Portuguese playmaker was once considered lightweight and inconsistent, but under Luis Enrique he's become a relentless, two-way midfielder, capable of unlocking defenses with a single pass while also pressing ferociously out of possession. In a word, the dramatic comeback win against Manchester City in the final league phase fixture, it was Vitinha's work rate and positional awareness that shifted momentum. Always available for a pass, always closing down space, he's become the heartbeat of the team. João Neves, the rising star signed from Benfica in the summer, João Neves arrived with sky-high expectations, and he's exceeded them all. At just 20 years old, the young Portuguese midfielder has shown poise beyond his years. He plays with elegance and maturity, combining crisp passing with clever movement. Neves is not afraid to put in a tackle either, often acting as a secondary ball winner alongside Vitinha. Guardiola described him as impossible to press, a glowing compliment that underlines his technical assurance and tactical discipline. In the most intense match environments, Fabián Ruiz, the silent dominator completing the trio, is the underrated yet indispensable Fabián Ruiz. The Spaniard adds composure and verticality to PSG's engine room. His ability to dictate play from deeper areas and exploit half spaces with long diagonal passes has given PSG more width and tactical flexibility. In matches where opposition teams sit back, Ruiz becomes the metronome, ensuring PSG maintain control and avoid the chaos that has so often undone them in the past. The turning point, PSG versus Manchester City. PSG's turnaround can be traced back to January 22nd, when they hosted Manchester City at Parc des Princes. With just 7 points from their first 6 games, elimination loomed large. Down 2-0 after 53 minutes, it looked like another early exit was on the cards. But something changed. The introduction of Ousmane Dembélé and Bradley Barcola added spark. Out wide, but it was the midfield that carried the fight back. PSG overran City in the center of the park. Bernardo Silva and Mateo Kovacic simply couldn't cope. Pep Guardiola admitted as much. They were better in the duels. Everything happened in the middle, and we could not control them. That 3-2 comeback win didn't just save PSG's European campaign, it gave them belief. Since that night, they've looked like a team transformed. Arsenal's tactical test for Arsenal, the task is now clear and daunting. Without Partey, Declan Rice may be left to carry the midfield. Burden alone unless Arteta can find the right combination to counter PSG's relentless trio. Whether it's Jorginho, Kai Havertz, or even Emile Smith-Rowe slotting in, the Gunners will need composure, physicality, and tactical discipline in the middle to stand a chance. If not, PSG's midfield, now the most balanced and cohesive unit in the tournament, may simply overwhelm them. Just as they did to Guardiola's treble-winning side, the bigger picture. While the world continues to watch PSG's dazzling wingers and lament the post-Mbappé era, those looking closer understand the real reason behind the French giants' resurgence. Vitinha, Neves, and Ruiz aren't just winning midfield battles, they're controlling entire games. And if Arsenal can't match their energy and intelligence, the Gunners' Champions League dreams might come to a bitter end at the Emirates.